Well, hello to all of you, and wonderful to have you back. Another WealthE Wednesday, and now it really is the official last WealthE Wednesday of the year. Obviously, at lunchtime today, we did the property one, which is where we go through the real estate and the deals. Lyndon and I went through all the deals. We went through the different risk profiles. We had some great questions, and so if you missed that recording, I suggest that you go and watch it. He also spoke about the pipeline of deals that will be coming up. As we move into the new year. We've got a lot of exciting sponsors bringing new deals to the platform in terms of that. But tonight, Lee, we've got an exciting learning journey. So we always break up WealthE Wednesday. The lunchtime session is around the deals and practical application, and the evening session is around learning and where we're looking at. WealthE Wednesday is all about value, profit, property, people, purpose, and fun. But it's awesome to have you online, Lee, and thank you very much for organizing WealthE Wednesday for everyone who's here.
Hi, everybody. It's great to be online. It's fantastic to be doing this with you now, Scott, and not as a New Year's resolution. We all know what happens with New Year's resolutions. They go out the door faster than what we make them. But we look forward to this and preparing ourselves for the next decade, which is only a couple of weeks away, as scary as that is.
Oh, no, it's incredible to think about that. And we're going to go on a roller coaster ride tonight. It's going to be fast. There's a lot to share. And so I ask you to strap in. And without further ado, I reckon we should get started. So I'm going to give you a quick introduction and just in terms of, the basis upon which we do stuff, which is you can have anything you want in life if you help enough other people get what they want. And so tonight, we really are aiming to add as much value as possible and hopefully help you get what you want, not only in the next couple of coming weeks and months, but in the next year and the next decade. We always talk a lot about Simon Sinek and the golden circle and how most people are trying to focus on the how and the what, but you've got to get very clear on your why. Your why is your bullseye. And, without going into it in too much detail, our why, we've spoken about it so many times around my father and how my father did what everyone was taught to do. He went to school, he went to university, he worked hard, he got a great job, he got a degree, he trusted the financial industry, and yet he went broke. And statistically, 99% of people are actually going to follow my father. There was a love for computers at a very young age from my perspective, and we've always been trying to marry together computers and property because we've always said, why could we not help people play global monopoly? And then obviously we've got the global wealth gap. We've got income inequality, we've got the inequality of gender, we've got the inequality of geography, and we really want to be able to solve that and allow the 99% to be able to invest like the top 1%. When you look at the stats, 49% of the world's wealth is held in property, and yet only 12.9% of the world's population has access to that property. That's probably every single one of you that's on this webinar. But of that 12.9%, less than 1% of you will actually retire wealthy. And that's why we feel so strongly that we want to empower the 99% to be able to invest like the top 1%. Our vision is to make investing as simple as a swipe of a finger and ultimately to make it down to $1 so that anyone, anywhere can invest any amount in quality real estate around the world. When you look at the current system, it's broken. Between yourself and the property, there's actually 16 different middlemen. There are loads of fees. There's no trust, no transparency. And because of the high fees, there's no returns or low returns and thus no alignment. And what we did was we changed that. We go out and we find the best property partners in England, Australia, America, and South Africa. They list their properties on the platform. You and I get access to those properties. And there's 4 simple steps. You can sign up. You can select an investment. We don't give you financial advice, but you can go in and take control of your destiny. You can transact online and you can manage your global portfolio all in one place. And because today is WealthE Wednesday, it's all about action. It's all about being able to invest. And so what used to take literally months or years with a huge amount of hassles, management, maintenance, broken toilets, you don't have to worry about any of that now. You now just get access to the best partners with the best opportunities, and you can literally invest from $1,000. And it's WealthE Wednesday, so today you can do that for 24 hours, and you can literally focus on the best returns. A lot of people have come to us and said, yeah, but it's so difficult. I've got to set up offshore structures. I've got to open bank accounts. You don't have to do any of that anymore. That's all taken care of for you within the platform. And when you look at the track record, we've now got members in 133 countries. We've done over $600 million worth of deals We've had $96 million go through the platform. We've won numerous awards, and we've paid out over $12 million in dividends. Now, as I said to you at lunchtime, we went through the existing deals. And so you can literally go to wealthmigrate.com and you can actually go and see the existing deals. I'm not going to talk through them tonight because that's what we went through at lunchtime. Last month, when we did the WealthE Wednesday, we shared with you the 12 lessons that wealthy people are taught and that the 99% are not. And we actually gave you the wealth code. And so I hope you all got access to those 12 lessons. You know, this wealth code is something that I keep literally in my wallet. And there's a great poem that I'm going to share with you later, which is on the back of that wealth code. If you want access to the wealth code, just type in their wealth code. And for those of you that are part of the inner circle, we will actually share the wealth code on the inner circle groups. So what is tonight all about? It's about goals. You know, I'm a big believer that if you don't have goals, you will never achieve what you want in life. You know, I like to use the metaphor of a mountain. Each and every one of us can climb a mountain, but if we don't know where the top of the mountain is, we will never ever get there. We will walk round and round the base. There are multiple ways up and down. You know, I've climbed Kilimanjaro, the highest mountain in Africa. And although there's many routes up Kilimanjaro, and you've got to go up and you've got to go down, there's only one top of the mountain. And I believe that goals help get you that clarity so that you can get very clear on what the top of the mountain is. I want to show you a real life story, and I'm going to share with you later around desktops and vision boards. And this is a vision board. When I moved to Knysna in 2013, I decided that I wanted to get a new boat, a boat that was not only for skiing, but a boat that could go out through the heads out to sea. And what I basically wanted to achieve on my vision board, you can see, I've got my little monkey here. Do you want to come and see the picture? Hey? Do you want to say hello to everyone? Wave to everyone. So my little monkey is breaking up tomorrow and he's got his gala, hey? So you can see here the picture. You can, breaking up on Friday, okay. So you can see the picture here that I found, and it was literally a Google picture that I put on my vision board, and it was of a boat that I liked. And what was really interesting is that about 8 months later, I went to the boat shop and I said, listen, I'd like to buy a boat and I'd like to buy this particular make. And he said, well, look, unfortunately, the factory's too busy. It was November time, and you can literally, if you want to choose your own specs, you can literally only get it in March. However, we have ordered one boat. Every year at Christmas, we order one boat. We buy it on spec, we bring it down, and we hope that someone turns up and just buys it. And I said, right, I will take first option on that boat. So it turned up a week later. I had absolutely no way to choose any of the coloring, absolutely anything. And this was the picture that I'd found 8 months before. So if you can see the picture, I've blown it up now so that it's a little bit higher, a little bit bigger. And you can see the picture of the boat that I had on my desktop. And now you can see the real life picture of the boat. I mean, look at the coloring. It's almost exactly the same. That's our boat, and this is the picture of the boat. If you look at the back, that's my son, Jonty, when he was a lot younger. Look at the coloring on the back of the seats, literally identical. Or what about the front? Look at the coloring on the front there, and look at the coloring on the front here. It's basically exactly the same. And I always say to people, that is what is so freaky around being able to achieve goals and how important goals actually are. So, a couple of books that I would highly recommend reading. The first one is Think and Grow Rich. You can see the book here, and ultimately you've got, I've got the copy of the book here. This is one of the best books that I can recommend in terms of goals. Listen, what are you doing? Okay. And Think and Grow Rich was written in 1937. Andrew Carnegie was one of the wealthiest men, actually the wealthiest man in the world. And he, hey, come on, stop being a silly monkey. And he decided that he was going to commission a guy called Napoleon Hill. And Napoleon Hill spent over 25 years interviewing the wealthiest people in the world. And he ultimately brought the book Think and Grow Rich together. It started in 1937. And more millionaires around the world have equated their wealth to this book than anyone else. Now, anyone that is on the inner circle, I will share with you a copy of Think and Grow Rich. I've got an e-copy book of it. I will also send you the audio version so that you can listen to this book. Now, I've read this book many, many times. I've also listened to the audio book many, many times. And this is a book that you have to listen to over and over and over again because it's got so much value in it. Another book that I highly recommend is Anthony Robbins' Awaken the Giant Within. This book allows you the excuse to go and dream. It allows you the excuse to go and just think big around all the different things that you would like to achieve in your life, the goals that you would like to achieve. It's the most practical book I've found for people to actually go out and just dream. You know, my father said, dream big, my son. People become what they dream. So, are you listening, mister? Yes. And this is one of the best and most practical books that I would recommend. And you can also see that we've got the eWealth Pack here. And if I go to the eWealth Pack, and again, anyone who's part of the Inner Circle will get access to the eWealth Pack, you can see all the books that we've got for recommended reading. So we've got Think and Grow Rich, Positive Intelligence, The Code of the Extraordinary Mind, The Road Less Traveled, and then under goals, we've got Awaken the Giant Within and the 4-Hour Workweek. There's another book I'm about to recommend, which is actually under business. And come on, mister. And you can see the book, The One Thing. So let's go back to the books. The last book that I would highly recommend is The One Thing. This is by Gary Keller, and it's the best book to be able to get things done in the day, in the week, in the month, because it allows you to focus on what is very important and what your goals actually are. What's up? Okay, if you want to watch your phone, please can you go sit on the couch? Okay, thanks, mister. So let's look at goals. You can come join me if you want. Okay? Let's look at goals. Now, I had the privilege of learning from Tony Robbins and Chet Holmes, who are two of the best in the world. Tony Robbins is one of the world's leading business and life coaches. He's been named as one of the top 50 most influential people in the world, and he's helped all the names that you've ever heard of, between Bill Clinton, Nelson Mandela, Andre Agassi, and you know, Diana, Princess Diana, and many, many others. And Chet Holmes actually went in and worked for Warren Buffett's business partner, Charlie Munger, and doubled the sales of more than 50 Fortune 500 companies, which is phenomenal. And between them, they set up a company called Business Breakthroughs. We got the rights, or I got the rights for Business Breakthroughs Africa. And there are 12 skills to business. Now, today, I don't have time to go into those 12 skills for business, but skill number 11 is all around goal setting. Now, I got personally trained by Tony Robbins and Chet Holmes, and I want to share with you tonight some of the lessons that I learned from them that I actually have taught people. I've coached thousands and thousands of people in the 12 skills of business. And as I said, skill number 11 is goal setting. So let's get started. When you set your goals, something inside of you starts saying, let's go, and ceilings start to move up. Zig Ziglar. Setting goals is not about writing them down periodically, although that's part of it, but about mastering your focus so that achieving your goals happens quickly and automatically. This webinar will help you improve your business, but also help you live a healthier and happier life. What is your RAS? Does anyone know? Let's see if anyone's paying attention here. What is your RAS, your RAS? So your RAS stands for your reticulated activating system. It's the part of your brain that allows you to focus. And if you want to buy a Mercedes-Benz, you'll be amazed at how many Mercedes-Benzes you see on the road. If you buy a brand new Toyota, you'll be amazed at how many Toyotas you see on the road. If you're looking for the color red, you'll be amazed how often you see the color red. And that is all your RAS, your reticulated activating system. And so you get to choose what you focus on. It's basically the computer in your brain that exclusively looks for opportunities and generating success while you sleep. And you can either program your RAS to be a problem solver, or it can be something that focuses on problems. The problem is that we also seek what we don't want. And so we get to choose. Do we want amazing results that we dream about, or do we focus on our problems? You know, we will teach you how to harness its power to create success in every area of your business and your life. And this is what it's all about when it comes to understanding how to set goals, measuring effectiveness, and putting you onto the fast track. As Albert Einstein said, we are our thoughts, and our thoughts define us. I love that saying, our thoughts become our words become our actions become our destiny. Every day we have thousands of thoughts, and our thoughts affect every cell in our body. Our cells are completely reactive to the environment in which they dwell, and thoughts is one of the most powerful sources for creating that environment. Whether they're positive or negative, you will get it in your subconscious and you will make it happen. And so a question for you, what thoughts dominated you today? Were they positive or were they negative? You know, last night for our inner circle and last week, we did a whole session on leadership mastery. And I spoke so much about your state and how important your state and your morning routine is. Problems or self-criticism, dwelling on what is not working. People love connecting on unhappiness, sorrow, and complaints. And so what does it mean? Well, your RAS ultimately decides what gets in. It's your gateway that decides what gets into your subconscious. And ultimately, it decides what your subconscious turns into a reality. Worry is where your subconscious consistently thinks about problems that are important and doesn't find solutions. And so you need to change your thinking from worrying to demanding solutions. You need to make sure that you're not having failure reinforcement. And sometimes you need to fake it till you make it, which is why your state is so important. You need to trick your subconscious into creating that success or skill level as a reality. And your attitude, you already have the success that you want in your life. What about attitude? Attitude is the only thing we can control in our life, yet it is the most powerful. You can't control others in your life. And again, I shared a document last night with our inner circle, and I apologize if you don't like the word, but there's a beautiful word I would recommend going and looking up called unfuckwithable, where ultimately you don't allow anybody or any circumstance to affect your attitude or to control your life. All you can control is your perception and your attitude. The good news is that your perception and your attitude are all the things that you can control to achieve your goals and your dreams in your life and in your business. Now, an example of your RAS is, as I said to you, think about anything that you're trying to achieve in your life, positive or negative, and you'll notice how often your subconscious brings it up. And I've already given you the example of my boat and how I literally took a concept or a picture and turns it into a reality. I've got another story where in my 20s, I used to run. I always wanted a Mercedes SLK. And in London, I used to run past this convertible SLK every single day. And I used to go, one day I'm going to have one of those. And when I came back to South Africa, I wanted to buy a convertible. And I was actually going to buy a Opel, I think it was, convertible. And somehow, and it's a long story, I ended up buying an SLK convertible. It's amazing how ultimately you turn your dreams into your realities. What you focus on is what you get. So the question is, how do you harness that power? And the first thing is that you need to focus on solutions and set goals for improving the situation. You need to use the RAS of your company with workshops to focus on solution, and the results will come. More often you think things over, the more entrenched it gets. So, one I've got in my mind is I'm not good with names. What positive situations do you have in your life and or negative situations? Last night, there was a gentleman called Paul, and he spoke a lot about how, for many years he had the feeling I'm not good enough. And you imagine the difference that makes in someone's life if every day they're saying, I'm not good enough, versus how could I, be grateful for the situation I'm in, or how could I even enhance the situation I'm in even better, or just, power questions. And so shortcuts. Your mind is your most receptive when it is less busy. So again, I find I get my best ideas when I'm running or doing exercise. Right before you go to bed or before you wake up, you are your most receptive. That's one of the reasons why I spoke last night. In my morning routine, I literally switch off my phone. There's no way to contact me until I've done my morning routine. And it's really important to focus your RAS on everything that is possible. Get your brain to focus on the present. It's a great day rather than I will have a great day. Auto-suggestion. Success comes to me easily. Another one that I wanted to say is that one that I learned off Robin Banks. And every single day I say a saying, I am brilliant, I am bright, I am a radiant being of light. I'm an outstanding peak performer. I'm a dynamic, global, and faithful transformer. And you can see I've literally memorized that. And I say that every single day. And it's extremely, extremely powerful. You've got auto-suggestion like success comes easily to me. Phrase your goals and desires as if they already exist, because then your brain will work on fulfilling them faster than you. So rather than I want to be a billionaire, your brain thinks it doesn't have it now. So rather rephrase that to I am a billionaire. I'm grateful for the life I'm living. I'm grateful for everything that I have in my life. And then the brain finds a way to actually make it happen. And the question, that I always ask is, have you ever had one of those situations where you forgot to set your alarm, or whatever the reason is, and you literally still woke up on time? It's a classic way of programming your reticulative activating system, your RAS, and your subconscious is there to deliver. How did it know what the time was, and yet it woke you up on time? So tell your RAS exactly what you want and focus on the positive. As Thomas Edison said, never go to sleep without a request to your subconscious. Napoleon Hill says, demand that your subconscious gives you the solutions or answers that you desire. Chet Holmes says, create a recording of your own voice so that you can feed proactive affirmations into your subconscious. And ultimately, he did that for 12 years, and his income doubled 3 years in a row. And like I said to you, he actually doubled 50 of the Fortune 500 companies' sales, which is a phenomenal achievement. So let's look at the RAS recording. You can go out and use relaxing music. You can talk yourself through relaxing exercises. I love mindfulness. I try and do a lot around mindfulness. You can tell yourself to close your eyes and imagine you're in a calm place. You can count from 10 to 1, which puts your brain into beta mode. And then you can have a series of affirmations. I attract success. Success comes easily to me. Abundance and prosperity flow to me from every direction. It's easy to be successful. I'm in perfect health. And I would recommend going and looking up Robin Banks and Mind Power. He's got some wonderful tools from John Kehoe all around auto suggestions and affirmations. And he's got some great, I know they're CDs. I've still got the CDs, but they've now got audio files that you can download. So let's look at RAS and goal setting. And it's really interesting because when you look at your goals, you've got long-term planning, you've got midterm planning, and then you've got your daily, tasks and activities. And what's really important is that your goals focus your intention and enforce your brain to attract what you want. Plan your life by setting goals in every aspect of your life and business. The moment you write your goals, you focus your subconscious on success, and it immediately becomes focusing on that success. Writing your goals down makes you feel like you have direction in your life. I find it very, very empowering for myself. And it's even more effective when you can see them every day and say them in the morning and at night. Now, a lot of people think that this is complete overwhelm and overkill. And yet, some of the most successful people in the world, this is what they're doing. And if you want to be in the top 1%, you need to behave like those in the top 1%. You need to work on incremental goals as well as long-term goals. Yes. It says, mommy, hello. No, it says mommy. Oh, mommy missing you. Okay. So send her a voice note. Mommy's up in Johannesburg tonight. And then equally, when you've got, you need to make sure that you can achieve your incremental goals so that you get into a positive attitude of success and you stay focused on that success. And if you make outrageous goals and never achieve them, you actually reinforce failure, which doesn't help anyone. So I've recommended the book Awaken the Giant Within by Tony Robbins, and I want to share with you my system. So let's look at mine. I've got long-range goals. I've got SMART goals, which stand for specific, measurable, attainable, results, and time-driven. I've got them per quarter. I've got my desktop, and I've got daily. And then I've also got a future vision. So, and then finally, I've got the daily priming, which is the morning activity that we do. So, and then once you've got those goals, it's all about measuring effectiveness. There's no point in having goals and then never checking back in. Think of it like an airplane. When an airplane takes off from Sydney to London, the pilot is consistently checking that it's on track. And if it was 1 degree off and it went 1 degree, 1 degree, 1 degree, it'll end up in Berlin. And so it's consistently making sure that it's back on track. And one of the most important things to making sure you're on track is in business, it's having flight decks. In your personal life, it's also having flight decks to make sure that you're on track. People respect what you inspect. And that's why flight decks become so important as a measuring tool, but also a management tool. And then, you can use contests to increase effectiveness. So let's look at just a conclusion here. Fortune 500 companies require quarterly, annual, and semi-annual plans because it's all about goal setting and getting focused. And when you look at the Harvard study, I've read lots of reports as to whether this is true or not true, but it's really interesting. Back in the 1960s, they studied a whole bunch of Harvard MBAs, and the only way to actually measure them was in money. 97% of them had no goals. 2% of them had goals but didn't have them written down, and only 1% of them had goals and had them written down. When they went back 30 years later and reviewed those people, although they couldn't review them on happiness and marriage and children, the one definitive thing that they could score them on was money. And what was fascinating is that the top 1% that had the goals written down had literally 97% of the wealth. The 2% that had goals and didn't have them written down had the remaining 2% of the wealth. And the remaining 1% of the wealth was for those that didn't have goals. And now, if that is complete BS, so be it. But I can safely say in my life that the people I've met that write their goals down are significantly more successful than those that are wandering around the mountain that don't know what the top of the mountain looks like. As I said to you already, and I said it for my son this evening, men become what they dream big. And so what is your plan for the next year? As we go into the next year and the next decade, what is your plan? And I want to share with you some tools. So we've got a micro degree, which is called the 8 Steps to Wealth Through Real Estate. And there are literally 8 steps. And I don't have time tonight to go into all 8 steps. But what I want to do is take you through step 3, which is all about your goal planning. And so the first thing that one needs to look at if your life, in terms of your life plan, is to look at your goals. And so if I go into all my goals, you can see my goals here for, why have I not opened it up? Sorry, let me open it up. You can see that I'm doing this live for you. I presume you're all seeing my screen. Yep. So let me go into goals 2119. And what's really important here is that you are going to basically see all my goals. There it is. Sorry, it was open already. I thought it was open. Now, there's no perfect system, okay? But I've copied and learned from Tony Robbins, Roger Hamilton, Richard Neft, Hunter Strayer, Chet Holmes, and I'm sure there's a few that I'm forgetting out. And what it is, I took all their systems and I built my own system. So I believe that there's 7 different areas. You've got financial, you've got vocational, you've got mental, you've got family, you've got social and travel, you've got physical and health, and you've got spiritual and contribution. So what I've done, and I've been doing this since I literally read Awaken the Giant back when I was 27 years old, is that I then mapped out everything that I wanted. So the beauty about your life goals is you can put on anything. You can put on helicopters and planes and mansions and SLKs. And you can see that I mapped it out then by the year, and I mapped it out until I was 60, because when I was 27, 60 was like dead. And you can see here that if it's in blue, then I've done it. And if it's in red, then it becomes something very important for me in that year. And I go through, these are all my goals, and I go through, and sometimes I add to them. But you can see it's broken down between financial, vocational, mental, family, social, physical and health, and spiritual and contribution. So every year, once a year, I read through this. So you'll see under vocational, just as an example, this year I added meet Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk. I didn't have that before. This year I added them because they were new. But like in the past, I had meet Richard Branson. What's up, mister? You're missing mommy. Give me a big hug. Give me a big hug. Yeah. Why don't you know what to do? What do you want to do? Do you want to come and sit on my lap? Okay. And you can see here in terms of the goals. Do you want to draw some pictures? Yeah. So you can see here with all the goals, and once a year I actually go out and I literally do my annual goal planning, and I review all my goals. Then what I do is I go into my SMART goals for the year. So I take all the different things, I plan out weekly, I actually do daily as well. So daily, what do I want to do daily? I've got weekly, I've got monthly, I've got my weekly plan. You know, they always say, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So I've got my entire week planned out when I spend time with my family, when I have weekly calls, when I have, I spoke about the book, The One Thing, when I actually focus on important times. And then this is then the plan that, I'm not available for ad hoc meetings. Do you know that they say if you have ad hoc meetings and you have something like, if you have a distraction, it takes you 30 minutes to recover from a distraction. If you have 11 distractions a week, it actually equals an entire month of your year. And so how important is your time? Then I go into my financial and I actually set my goals for the first month. So for the month of January, for the first quarter, the second quarter, the third quarter, and the fourth quarter. And I break it up between personal, property, and business. I do my entire financial analysis, which I'll share with you just now, with your basically full-on budgets. I believe you need to live your life exactly like a business with P&L. You've got vocational, you've got mental, you've got family, and I think you get the point. Now, just in my interest, if the inner circle people would like it, I will share these templates on the inner circle group, the WhatsApp group, and also if you do the micro degree, you will get access to all these templates and tools so that you can go and do it. Now, remember, this is my life. There's no point in actually copying it, but you can copy mine. But what I'd say is put your own goals in, and then ultimately it's about using the systems. Then I get quite precise, because what I do is I break down quarterly, what I need to do financially, vocationally, and I get very clear on what I need to focus on in the quarter. And then each quarter I go back and I give myself a percentage, and ultimately it pulls through and it gives me a wheel of life, which you can see over here. I don't know why it's not pulling through properly at the moment. I apologize. There it is. So you can see my wheel of life. I don't believe there's such a thing as a wheel of life that is perfect, but you can see from one quarter to another whether I'm making improvements or not in certain areas, and you can see certain areas of my life. And then what I really do is I try and focus it down to the top 15 or no more than 20 goals that I'd be looking to achieve in a quarter or in a half year, in terms of that process. And this is what I call my sort of quarterly goals. Now, I haven't been very good this year, I'm not going to lie. I only did them for Q1, and I haven't done them in Q2, Q3, and Q4. So I want to just point out that I'm not perfect either. And sometimes you get caught up in life. And then what's interesting is that from that, I then create my vision board, and I need to stop sharing this screen so that I can open up this one for you. Oh, I thought I had it open. And I basically build it into a vision board. And you can see here the vision board. It's just a PowerPoint. So sorry, I opened up the JPEG, not the PowerPoint. So you can see here, it's literally just a PowerPoint. So again, it's the same PowerPoint that I use over and over again. And you can see that I've got my annual goals for the year. I've got my quarterly goals. I've got a poem that I love, which is called The Credit Belongs. You can see a picture of my family, the rhythm, my son. I want to really get into digital marketing. I want to spend more time mindfulness. I want to support Bongi. I want to create multiple revenue streams. There's that poem by Steve Jobs about the crazy ones, my home, and my personal mission statement. And now this desktop is everywhere. It's all over my it's on. I've got two computer screens, so every single morning this is actually in front of me in my face. And then the last couple of things that I wanted to share with you, and again, all these tools I will make available for people. The last thing that I wanted to share with you is that something I learned from Roger Hamilton is what you call a future vision. And this is really, really powerful. And so Roger Hamilton talks about a future vision and how you go into the future and then you work backwards and you say, right, so you can see here with Hilda and the people that came away on the Wealth Weekend, we actually did a future vision for 10 years from now, so the 31st of December. And you take all the different areas of your life and you say what you're grateful for and what you've achieved and how you achieved it. It's amazing. It's like going in a time machine and looking back with gratitude. And it's called a future vision. And you can see that I then broke down what do I need to do in 2020 to achieve my future vision. Now, every year I do my future vision, and you can see my future vision for 2019, and you can actually see that the 31st of December, so we're nearly there. and I'll go back and I'll read my future vision. And, you know, I tend to find that you don't get it all, but maybe 70 to 80% of what you're wanting to achieve. And I met an incredibly successful guy, and he said he used to write his future vision and share it with his team. And it was amazing because the team actually started to realize what they were going to achieve, you know, for the year, and how they were going to achieve that. And so you can see all the different systems that are here. I've shared with you my annual plan. I've shared with you my quarterly, sorry, this is my life plan. This is my annual plan, my SMART goals. This is my quarterly plan. And I've also shared with you my future vision. Now, for those that are in this inner circle, as I've said to you, I will actually give you these templates so that you can literally go and do this yourself. I know that this looks overwhelming, and it is overwhelming when you try and do it for the first time. But for someone like me now, I take one day out per year, and I go through all my goals, and I update them, and I update my future vision, I update my financials for the year, and I get very, very clear. And then I've shown you the vision board, and you know, I'm a visual person, so I get a huge amount of power out of a vision board. What do you want, boy? Another paper. Okay. Here's lots of paper. Okay. And then just in terms of the daily routine, we did something last night on the inner circle that I just wanted to share with everybody. We had a gentleman called Paul that wanted to get into a daily routine so that he could set himself up to really live the destiny that he really wanted to be able to live. And so we created a 60-day challenge. And anyone that's on this webinar, I encourage you to join the 60-day challenge. It is a WhatsApp group. If you're interested, just type there 60-day challenge and we can send you the link. And basically what it is it's all about forming habits. So you can download the Tony Robbins Prime. That's a 20-minute prime. It's 19 minutes to be exact. It's 3 minutes of breathing, 3 minutes of gratitude, 3 minutes of energy, 3 minutes of your goals, and then it's some really uplifting music to get your day going. I would recommend that you switch your phone off at night. You know, do not switch it on until you've done your morning routine. Take control of your life. Set your alarm, which plays a motivational song that motivates you. You know, I have Chariots of Fire, which, you know, I ran Comrades, and it's an incredible song that you start off Comrades. You know, plan 20 minutes every morning. If you don't have 20 minutes, wake up 20 minutes earlier. Commit to do it every single day. Focus on your physiology, your body, your focus. What are you focusing on, and the meaning you're giving your life. Use the Tony Robbins recording or create your own one. You know, check in with a buddy to make sure you've got the commitment to do it. If you miss a day, no worries, but start again from zero. And there's no such thing as Christmas Day, New Year's Day, you're hungover or whatever. I have done it every single day for 3 years, and so there's no excuse as to why you can't do it. And I've been busy, I've been on airplanes, I've been in time zones, I've never missed a day. And then do this for yourself and believe in yourself. Show yourself, get on the success cycle, and then get started. Don't say you're going to get started in January. I believe get started right now. Commit to getting started tomorrow. You know, create a vision board, do the goal planning for 2020, print your vision board, put it in prominent places, print the picture below, which is what I told you with the word that I love, which is unfuckwithable. When you're truly at peace and in touch with yourself, and nothing anyone says or does bothers you, and no negativity or drama can touch you. And then get a buddy to be able to help you. And so that's a little bit of a challenge for those of you that want to do the 60-day challenge. We literally have started this morning. Come along. We've got a WhatsApp group, an accountability group, and Paul is leading that as our fearless leader to ensure that we all do it. And it's interesting. We've got 37 people signed up already. And then step 6 is tracking your progress. And this one for me is really interesting because most people go out and they set their goals, but they don't actually check in and track their progress. And I just wanted to share with you, I've got what's called you know, I try and copy a family office, and you can see our budgets to our actuals. And so we've got every single month, we get our budgets to our actuals. So we know exactly what is happening with our money. And then we've got our SMART goals. And if I go into our financial analysis here, you can see the breakdown. Oops, no, sorry, I opened the wrong one. Yep, I've opened the wrong one. Oh, this is the one, our SMART goals. And you can see here that we're up to October. Debbie will be finishing November now because we're just in early December, so I'll get that generally by the 12th of the month. And then I can actually see my budgets to my actuals, where I am in terms of my income, my investments, my different bank accounts, etc. So I really, really recommend that whether you do that yourself, you can use an accounting system called Xero, or you pay a financial controller like Debbie. If you want me to give you Debbie's details, I'm happy to do that. But there's a reason that the Fortune 500 companies run quarterly and run so successfully with goals. And if you want to be successful in your life, why are you not tracking your budgets to your actuals? So I want to give you a bit of a coaching moment. And again, if you remember, I've coached thousands of people in this, and this is the coaching that I used to give them. I always used to say that silver should be compulsory. Quite frankly, if you think that your business is important or your life is important to you, then it should be compulsory. The gold you should try and do, and the platinum is for top achievers. So the first thing under silver is that this is a picture of me. I'm out on my boat. I do this every year in early January. I go out on my boat to the Nice Heads. My son wants to see the picture, so can you come see the picture? And I've got my hat on because it's warm. I've got my laptop, and it's just the most beautiful, tranquil situation where others are not irritating me, and I can take the day out and I can do my goal planning. And so have some fun and brainstorm. What are your 5 lifetime goals? And if you want me to share this PowerPoint, I'm happy to do that. What are your 5 annual goals? Desired annual income for the next 5 years. It's really important to get clear. If you want more money, I can give you R1 or $1, and that's more money. You've got to get exactly clear on what is the amount of money that you want. I, as an example, want $15,000 passive income. I know exactly what the amount is. That is my minimum that I want to be financially free. Now, my goal is actually £100,000 passive income per month. That is what I want on the high road, but my low road is $15,000 passive income per month. And it's very important to get very clear on what you want. 3 things you need to do each month to improve your life, 3 things you need to do each month to improve your career or your company, and 3 things you need to do each month to improve your performance. And it's really important that you write them down. So it's no good just thinking about the stuff. I've shown you, I write them down. You want to know any of my goals, anyone, whether it's my wife, my son, or anyone in my team, you can read my future visions, you can read my goals. It's very clear what I want to achieve over my life. And 3 things which you will do with your time to be more effective, 3 things you'll do to be healthier and happier, and how often you write them down and create a routine. So what is the sequence you're going to do to set yourself up for success? Try and post it somewhere. I wish I could show you my setup, but I've got my laptop and I've got a big screen here. And on my screen, I literally have that desktop with my vision board and all my goals. I see them every single day. And for gold, so this is for people who want to go deeper. I highly recommend doing a future vision, not only a 10-year future vision, but a 1-year future vision. Design a plan for your life. Where do you want to go? Stop ambling through life and create the life that you want. Design a plan for your business. I probably shouldn't be sharing this, but let me just share it very quickly. Like tomorrow, we're going to go through with our team, our entire team charter. So this is what you'll learn if you do anything with Roger Hamilton. It's our team charter. You've got everything about our business. You've got our goals for 2020. You've got our enterprise promise, our mission. You've got our avatars. You've got literally everything about our values, our customer promise, our product range. It's all here. And, I don't have time tonight to share it with you, but we've got all our goal planning, what we need to do, our team structures. We've got our annual plans. We've got our financial numbers, everything, all within one document, which is very clear and very easy for our business, so that anyone joining our business knows exactly what we're doing, when we're doing it, and how we're doing it. Then the one thing exercise, I wanted to share this with you as a bit of a gift. I actually got this from Keller Williams. It was recommended by one of our wealth partners, and it's a great little guide if you're a couple, with your wife or husband or boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever, to actually go away. And there's some great thought-provoking questions around spiritual, physical, personal, key relationships, financial, your job, your business, and final questions. And this is a great tool that I recommend if you're looking for something to work together with a partner. to be able to go through. So, and it's even got a breakdown of how you can do it over a weekend together. And then, you know, my one thing that I would say is please don't feel overwhelmed. This has taken me 20 years, and I'm obviously trying to improve on it each and every day, week, month, year, decade. It's amazing what you can achieve in a decade. You know, many people overestimate what they can achieve in a year and underestimate what they can achieve in a decade. And I just wanted to share with you tonight the systems and the tools which are out there so that you can have an incredible decade. But the most important thing is to get started. If you're feeling overwhelmed, just get started. You know, just take the time out. It takes half an hour or an hour to go and write your future vision and start to paint color to your life. And then if you're in platinum, well, read Awaken the Giant Within if you haven't done it. Read Mind Power by John Keogh. Read Think and Go Rich by Napoleon Hill. Read The One Thing by Gary Keller. And, you know, if you want to do the Chet Holmes thing, you know, either use the Tony Robbins recording or create your own RAS recording in terms of where you're at. And so I wanted to finish with a video. I hope this is going to come through clearly for you. It's a brilliant little video. I've watched this probably hundreds and hundreds of times. But as we go into a new year and a new decade, I would like my son to come and sit on my lap and watch this video with me, because I believe that this video is an incredible inspiration of how we can achieve what we want to achieve in the next decade.
In the meantime, we're back to another dang commercial.
I don't know what to say, really. 3 minutes to the biggest battle of our professional lives. All comes down to today. Either we heal as a team, or we're going to crumble. Inch by inch, play by play, till we're finished. We're in hell right now, gentlemen. Believe me. And we can stay here, get the shit kicked out of us, or we can fight our way back into the light. We can climb out of hell. 1 inch at a time. Now, I can't do it for you. I'm too old. I look around, I see these young faces, and I think, I mean, I made every wrong choice a middle-aged man can make. I pissed away all my money, believe it or not. I chased off anyone who's ever loved me. And lately, I can't even stand the face I see in the mirror. You know, when you get old in life, things get taken from you. I mean, that's part of life. But you only learn that when you start losing stuff. You find out life's this game of inches. So is football. Because in either game, life or football, the margin for error is so small. I mean, 1/2 a step too late or too early, you don't quite make it. 1/2 second too slow, too fast, you don't quite catch it. The inches we need are everywhere around us. They're in every break of the game, every minute, every second. On this team, we fight for that inch. On this team, we tear ourselves and everyone else around us to pieces for that inch. We claw with our fingernails for that inch. Because we know when we add up all those inches, that's going to make the fucking difference between winning and losing. Between living and dying. I'll tell you this, in any fight, it's the guy who's willing to die who's going to win that inch. And I know if I'm going to have any life anymore, it's because I'm still willing to fight and die for that inch. Because that's what living is. The 6 inches in front of your face Now, I can't make you do it. You got to look at the guy next to you. Look into his eyes. Now, I think you're going to see a guy who will go that inch with you. You're going to see a guy who will sacrifice himself for this team because he knows when it comes down to it, you're going to do the same for him. That's the team, gentlemen. And either we heal now as a team, or we will die as individuals. That's football, guys. That's all it is. Now, what are you going to do?
So I've shared with you a huge amount of skills and information tonight. And as we go into the new year and the new decade, the question I have for you is, what are you going to do with it? There's a beautiful poem that I love so much, and you've heard me say before. And as I said to you, it's on the back of that wealth code. And if you don't have the wealth code, reach out to the team and the inner circle. It's on the inner circle groups. The credit belongs to the person who's actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs and comes short again and again, who knows the great enthusiasms, the great devotions, and spends himself in a worthy cause, who at best in the end knows high achievement, and who at worst, if he fails, at least he fails while daring greatly. Far better it is to dare mighty things, to win glorious triumphs, even though checkered by failure, than to rank with those poor spirits who neither enjoy much nor suffer much because they live in the great twilight, but knows neither victory nor defeat. Theodore Roosevelt. And I just wanted to acknowledge all of you. There's so many of you that have come online tonight. I hope that this added a lot of value to you. And really, it is important. And for me, as the world is changing, are you going to try and do it on your own? Are you going to set, I challenge you, I invite you to set amazing goals for your life. But are you going to try and do it on your own, or are you going to do it together? Are you going to use the laws of nature? A bird flying in a flock can fly 70% further than a bird flying on its own. An individual that is looking to achieve a goal has less than a 50% chance of achieving that goal. If you've got a partner, you've got a 60% chance of achieving that goal. But if you're part of a mastermind, if you're part of a like-minded group, you've got a higher than 70% chance of achieving that goal. And that is why we've created things like Wealth 5.0. We're moving into this new decade, which is all around your impact, your creativity, your high touch, your high tech, and your digital. We've got the October series where you can go and look at the links on the 5 secrets to offshore real estate investment. You've got how to immigrate overseas financially or physically. You've got how to build a $100 million business, sell it and live anywhere. And you've also got Garth Wellman, how to create a family office and what the wealthiest people are doing. And we've taken all the lessons and all the knowledge from those series, and we've actually brought them together. We've got the micro degree, on the 8 steps to wealth. And I shared with you just 2 of the steps tonight, and I literally topped the top of the iceberg in terms of the opportunity. We've got the wealthy test, where you can go and do the test. There's 5 pillars to the wealthy test. And ultimately, it'll give you a 26-page report on your what, your how, your who, your when, and your why that will help you ultimately. Thank you, Monkey. What is that? Oh, awesome. It'll help you know where you are. It'll help you know where you want to get to, and it'll create you a personalized journey. My son loves rugby, and this is a picture between the Springboks and the All Blacks playing rugby. And as Nelson Mandela says, money won't create success. The freedom to make it will. That's a beautiful picture, mister. And so my question to you, as we finish out the year, as we finish out the decade, what are you doing to be a global citizen? Is that your reindeer? Hey?
No,
Is it a springbok? Oh, it's a springbok. Okay. Look at the springbok, ladies and gentlemen. And what are you doing to be ready for 2020? You know, you've got many different options. It's WealthE Wednesday today. You can literally go online, and for another sort of, I don't know how many more hours, probably another 8 hours, the platform will be live where you can invest from $1,000. You can join our inner circle where you get to learn and grow and be part of a community. You get coached and mentored where we share all the skills, and ultimately it's about learning, growing, and investing together and having the inspiration to be able to do it. We've got our Wealth 5.0 Accelerator, which we're launching in January, which takes everything that we learned from Garth and Hilda and myself, all the questions, and brings it into a 12-series package to really help people accelerate their own personalized path to wealth as we go into the new year and the new decade. And then for those people that are feeling completely overwhelmed, and where do I get started? Well, we've created the 2020 Starter Pack. And if you are interested, you can literally go, we've created a landing page for our Starter Pack. You can literally go to the Starter Pack. So it's wealthmigrate.online/2020-starter-pack. So, you know, you can go and check it out. It doesn't have a huge amount of information, but basically it's just to allow people, because it's not live yet. We did launch it as a beta test on Black Friday. We've closed it again. And what you get in the starter pack is you get a $100 voucher. That's a real voucher to invest. You get to join the inner circle. You get access to the eWealth pack worth over $5,000. You get access to the micro degree, and you get the Wealth 5.0 Accelerator. So we've tried to take all the complexity out and make it really easy for people to get started. And I have no idea why this slide keeps freezing. But and then hopefully tonight we've shared with you on how to become a global citizen. And one of the things that I'm passionate about is giving people the freedom and the choice to be able to do it. If you've got any questions, I would love people to fire through the questions. My son has joined me very kindly for this webinar, and I'm very grateful that he's joined me. What do you want me to write? For what? Okay. And the reason I actually asked my son to join me tonight was that we were talking all about goals and how to create the life of your dreams. And I thought that it would be very valuable for him to be sitting here and listening. So I want you to give me a high five and say, well done for being part of this webinar, so that you too can go and create the life of your dreams. Okay? Hey? And being a Springbok. Yeah, so you can write it and draw pictures about how you're going to be a Springbok, mister. So does anyone have any questions? I can see here a number of people have asked for the templates. Linda said, thanks for the passion, time, and teachings. No problem, Linda. Are there any other questions that anyone has that I can help with tonight? I've shared a huge amount of information and over 20 years worth of knowledge that I've tried to compress into less than an hour. And in New Zealand, sign. I don't know what the New Zealand sign is. We'll have to look for it when I finish. A feather. Oh. You did it. There we are. Okay, the templates would be great. So no problem. We'll share the templates, particularly with the people. If you're not on the inner circle, then it's on the micro degree. If you are on the inner circle, I'll make sure that I share them all on the inner circle for the for everybody. And as it's WealthE Wednesday, Lee, I'm not sure if you can share with people, but there is a discount for people to sign up to the inner circle now, which is a 12-month community, and it's really affordable for you to be able to get access. Pat has said, on Black Friday I bought the starter pack, but I now cannot log in because I have not gotten access to data. So Pat, Lee will be able to assist you with that. Lee is online and head of our community, and we'll be able to assist you with that. Sorry, obviously it's been a little bit crazy. We had a lot of people sign up, which is why we actually kept it at beta, just to be able to get it working properly. David said, D Rowe said, never seem to be able to watch the whole webinar. Is there any way to watch this again? Yes, we will record it and share it on our social media channels. Cool. Okay, I'm going to finish off. There's a couple of slides I want to share with you, and then if there's any further questions, then I will answer them. So for me, I always we started tonight with the why. I want to finish with the why. Ours is to empower 1 billion people and solve the wealth gap. We formed the wealth movement back in 2014. Hilda actually wrote this manifesto in 2015 for us. Imagine a world where most or all people are literate, a world where education is par for the course, a world where women are treated as equals, a world where all people have access to investment opportunities. Imagine a world where 6 billion people on the planet who currently live in poverty can live a better life. Imagine that world. At the Wealth Movement, we're aiming to create that world. And I invite each and every one of you to go out there and create a spectacular, not only year, but decade. Join the Wealth Movement. Be part of creating the future. You can see here that the tagline is creating a sustainable and better planet for all. And I fundamentally believe that we do it one person at a time. And a great example of this is Bongi. As a young man that we met many years ago, he did incredibly well at Lemonade Day. We actually crowdfunded him through our community to go to a private school. He's going into his final matric year next year. He wants to be an electrical mechanical engineer. He works during all his holidays. His mom is a police lady. His dad is a security guard, and he's an amazing young man and could very potentially be the next Elon Musk. And I just really want to thank our global community. John, let me finish this point. We want to thank our global community for allowing people like this to thrive. And as much as we're helping him thrive, we're hoping to help you thrive. And so the next steps are, you can literally go to wealthmigrate.online 2020/starter pack. You can join us. You can start on your journey to becoming a global citizen. You can work with someone who's already done it. You can work with one of our ambassadors to help. If you're watching the recording, you can click on the link below. But most importantly, please, tonight I know I've shared a huge amount of information. I know that it's probably very overwhelming, but I just encourage you to get started. And if you're not sure what to do, get started with the 60-day challenge. Sign up to the WhatsApp group, join Paul and myself and 37 other people, and just commit to a daily routine, because ultimately it's about building a habit, and you'll be amazed at what you can achieve. You know, having walked up Kilimanjaro, the tallest mountain in Africa, having run 3 comrades, which is one of the longest ultra marathons and day races in the world, I can promise you that no matter how daunting a task is, it always starts with the first step. And so that's all from me. I hope that we've added a lot of value to you this year. And if we have, the last request that I have for you is that you go out and you share it with your friends. Let's empower as many people as possible. Let's get them signed up to the inner circle. You know, maybe it's a fantastic gift for Christmas or New Year's to give them the starter pack so that they too can create the life that they want. But Lee, I really want to lastly acknowledge you. You've driven the inner circle this year. You've set up all the webinars. You've driven the community. You've literally been the mother that has held this community together. And I really, really deeply appreciate everything that you've done. And, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. And I'm sure I speak for everyone that's part of the community, the amount of value that you've added. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Scott. I really appreciate that. It is definitely a labor of love. So you are all most welcome. We look forward to seeing you in January. I don't know where this year has gone. WealthE Wednesday will continue. January, however, will not be on the first Wednesday of January, as that is literally the 1st of January, and our team is not going to be working. So look out for our postings on when the first WealthE Wednesday in January is going to be. But thank you for walking this journey with us and being on this ride this year. It's really been so much fun. We've learned a lot from you as being part of our community, and we appreciate every single one of you. So good luck for the end of the year. Be blessed. I hope you all get to take some downtime and spend it with those that are nearest and dearest to you.
Perfect. And Avanel asked a definition of a global citizen. There's a beautiful definition on Google that Hilda sent me. So I'd recommend just going to Google that and finding out what a global citizen is. It really can be anything you want, but for me, it's all about you having the freedom to live the life you want, the freedom to live where you want, the freedom to work at what you want, to send your kid to whatever school you want, to whatever university, to donate whatever charity you want. I believe it's about the freedom of choice, and what we are very passionate and purposeful about is giving people that freedom. And I think that's probably enough for tonight. Very, very grateful to the entire community for all your participation. Go out there, have a wonderful festival season, whatever religion you are, wherever you are in the world. Enjoy your time with your family and friends. As you can see, I have a little monkey that desperately wants daddy's attention. And so I think that's probably enough for 2019. And the last thing I'll say is that every single year I do a video on the top lessons that I've learned from the year. And I will be doing that sometime in the next week or two, which I'll be sharing with our community, which will be our last interaction for the year. So thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful evening, and we look forward to seeing you in the next decade. Cheers.
Bye.
Say bye properly.
Bye-bye.